Hello, I'm Susan from Kolena, and today I'm really excited to take you through our tool and show you how you might use it for your invoice management needs. So imagine that you're responsible for managing and reconciling all the invoices at your organization, keeping track of your suppliers and how much they're owed and when. A very important job, but certainly labor and time intensive. And perhaps you want to offload some of that burden and focus on other tasks. So our tool is a great way to do that. Right now, what we're looking at is our agent's homepage. So you can think of an agent as being an intelligent worker. So it's working on your behalf to do an analysis and make smart decisions based on the information that you provide as context. So let's go ahead and create a new agent. And we recommend just using very natural language here. So keep it easy. You can just say extract invoice information and go ahead and continue. And what you'll need to do is provide an example file as context. So think of it as, a template, if you will. You'll see that there's many different supported file types, just expanded to show you here. And let's go ahead and create. All right, so from this page, you'll see that we have the file that we uploaded, and we'll want to add extractions here. So this is the information that you want to pull from your file or files. Let's start with something like invoice number. That's pretty important. We'll want to know the supplier name, so we'll go ahead and add that one too. And what you'll notice here is, I'll expand this so you can see better, that it will actually refine the prompt for you as needed. It will define the type by default to what makes the most sense based on the information you provided. You can certainly modify that if you wanted to do that. In this case, for invoice number, text or number probably just makes the most sense here. But if we go down here, you'll see that the prompt, for example, is more detailed. What is the name of the company or business that issued this invoice? And you can always suggest improvements as needed so that, it can continue to iterate and make intelligent decisions on your behalf. But let's go ahead and try a different type of extraction. So, for example, the tax information. Tax can mean different things, right? Typically, it would mean the tax rate or the tax amount, which you'll see here on the left. But in this situation, what if we wanted to know, is there tax available? Is that indicated? So that would be a true false here. So really it's just asking, it's identifying if there's invoices where there isn't a tax identified. And then we go ahead and refine here. And let's go ahead and create. And let's add one more type of extraction for now, which is let's see if we can add product type or category. The invoices that I have that I'm going to upload as a whole, they're different types. There's goods and services. So we can easily just have it classified, and you'll see that it already will refine the prompt for us and then list the possible classifications. So in this case, we just had a produce related invoice. So these are the types of classifications that you see. But when I pull in other invoices, you'll see that there might be other classifications that automatically populate on our behalf. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create, and you'll see that information here has populated. We have the different reasoning, the types. For that tax example I just went over, it does say true, which makes sense. There was a tax amount that was provided. And then here for the product category in this example, we have produce. All right, so this looks really great. And let's see about adding more files. So in this case, like run, you can think of it as another file or adding another line to your output or what displays. So I'm going to go ahead and pull in some additional invoices that I've created here, and we can go ahead and submit. And you'll see that this is just populating in real time. So it's very exciting. You're not going to have to re-add the category or the types of extractions that you're adding. Okay, great. So this did very well. What we want to look at now is all of our files and just kind of double check here just so I can show you how well the tool worked. For the invoice number and the supplier name, let's take a look and just verify that it should in fact be null. And if you look here, the information, client information, these are very, I would say, kind of vague or contradictory and confusing terms when we think about supplier name. So this would just be a great opportunity to suggest an improvement, like should the client information client be considered the supplier, in which case, you can go ahead and suggest the improvement here. Client should be considered a supplier. And, this is obviously dummy data, so there is some inconsistencies here. We can just ignore it altogether if you wanted to do that as well. And then the other thing here is, let's just take a look at all the files. I wanted to see if there was a good, a good calculation opportunity. So if you look over here, you can see that the total hasn't been filled out for some reason. There's different amounts for the subtotal, the sales tax, etc. But can we actually go ahead and calculate the tax? So let's go ahead and put in total, including tax. And let's go ahead and create this. All right, so if we go back to the runs, you'll see that we actually have this updating. Okay, there you have it. So if you look at the total amount with tax, this one over here for $15.48, if I open up the invoice that was missing the total amount, did some quick math to verify, and that is indeed the expected total when you sum up these amounts. So it did really well with the calculation. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you for your time.